Hi everyone, Eileen here. Well, it's the weekend again. Time is certainly flying. Soon be Christmas. But before then, I've got a few more Lavinia Stance video tutorials to share with you. I'm doing one today and another one tomorrow. The one today is this, and it features the fabulous Tree of Hope, along with the brand new stamps called Forest Hares. Aren't they sweet? Total delight. I've used a piece of multifarious cardstock in cream, my favourite, and I've taken an A4 sheet, I've folded it in half, creased it and cut it to 20 centimetres by 14 centimetres. And here it is. And I'm using a magnetic sheet along with my Sweet Poppy Stencils rectangle aperture stencil, and that will fit snugly down onto the magnetic sheet. And I'm using a pencil just to draw a pencil line right the way round to give me a frame. Now, if you haven't got one of these Sweet Poppy stencils, then you can use a ruler, or you can just use some low-tack stencil tape and create a frame, a border, all the way round. So you don't necessarily need this. Just makes life easy for me because I do so many of these cards. Don't need the magnetic sheet anymore. I'm starting off, throwing things around, that's good. I'm starting off by stamping the Tree of Hope, absolutely fabulous stamp, and I'm using VersaFine Clair Fallen Leaves. You can use stamp press if you wish. I've got a foam stamping mat underneath my card. So gentle tapping. This is quite an old ink pad, so I'm hoping this will be okay. I haven't got a re-inker for this. And I think there's enough on here to give me a good image. Gentle tapping, it looks okay. It's not so gentle tapping, to be honest. Trying to squeeze out the last drop of ink, which is not good because it would just squash along the sides. Right, I think that might do it. So popping it down, and I'm going about ½ an inch up from the bottom and just over ½ an inch over from the right-hand side, but I do want to get all of the tree in. So it's going to be, I think, round about there. Fingers crossed. Firm pressure. Oh, someone's after me. Better turn that off, I think. Just switch the sound off on that. There we go, that's not bad at all. That's the tree. Next, it's the fabulous hare. And there's 2 in the set. And they're not huge, actually, which is the beauty of them, because they can be used in so many different ways. In the background, foreground. I've even made a card sort of a bit abstract and used them in some circles. That didn't come out too badly either. Right, starting off with the this one here on the right-hand side. And I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne. Really gentle tapping this time because I don't want to squish all the ink all over. This is a fairly new pad. To make sure it's well covered. It's quite a solid stamp. and using a dry cloth just to remove the surplus ink from around the outside, like so. And then I'm going to pop this one down in the right-hand corner. I've still got some surplus ink there, and that's worrying me. So get rid of that. That's good. Yeah. So popping him down in that corner, I just want him to round about there, I think. I want him to, his paws to rest on the ground. I don't want the paws to rest on the tree. So let's make sure he is. Oh yes, he's good. He could be a little bit more opaque, to be honest. So I've got a black pen. Well, I'm going to use a black polychromos pencil just to fill in, to make him even more opaque, like so. And then the other hair is also inked up in black Nocturne. And again, dry cloth. Get rid of the ink around the outside. And then he's going over, or she is going over just past the end of the tree, but in line with the stump of the tree, and then down, press, and then up. Yep, that's good. And just a little fill in there where I've missed. Okay, so that's the hairs sorted. Clear the ink away. And now I'm just going to add some colour to the tree. I need my crayons, won't be a moment. Got a few polychromos pencils here. You can use any medium that you like for colouring in. If you're happy with distress inks and a paintbrush or watercolours, or this cardstock is pretty good. It takes a lot of different mediums, but I prefer pencils because then it gives me more control. If I make an error, I can just rub it out. So I'm starting off with yellow to begin with. No, I'm not. I'm starting with a pale brown, and I'm just going down and up the trunk and branches of the tree and just putting in a bit of colour. Like so. It's very relaxing, this. I don't worry too much about the very thin branches. I will just leave those to their own devices. And then a bit of yellow now, just to brighten it up a bit. Adds a bit of light and shade. I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm doing much with light and shade. I leave that to our Lisa, Lisa Taggart on our design team. She's fabulous with light and shade. So I just sort of colour in, and if it looks good, I leave it, and if it isn't, I rub it out. Orange now. and then some dark brown in certain areas, give it a bit of dimension. Maybe darker at the bottom. And that just does that. What else? A bit more yellow, I think. And I've got a few areas where I've strayed over with the colour. And this is the advantage of using crayons, pencils, because I can just rub those out. So it covers up all the mistakes, takes them away. So just doing a whisper of colour, really. Then I've got a do-it-yourself paintbrush, cheap one, and that takes away any debris from the eraser on the card. Got a mark there, that's from my fingers, I think. And then just another one there, a little bit there. I think that will do. Just a little bit of colour on it. And then, of course, it wants grounding. So I've got a lovely green here. This one is called earth green, so appropriate, I think. And I'll have a bit of grey and then a darker green as well. So let's give them some grass to play on, shall we? Starting off with the darker green, very lightly. Again, but I'm taking it straight across under the paws of the first rabbit and then over, no, sorry, oh, apologies, the hair, and then over to the next one. Haven't got names for these hairs. Gonna have to think of something, I think. So, and then the lighter green coming down very gently, very gently. Like so. And then I'll have a tiny bit of yellow just to brighten it up a little. That's it. And then I'm taking my eraser again, making sure it's clean so that I can sort of blend the colours in together. And this takes away any harsh pencil lines that you may have. And I'm putting a little bit more yellow in there. Yes. That's not bad. Comes the brush again. So I'm quite pleased with that. I've got one more bit of stamping to do. And that is the word, which, where have I put that? Oh, with love. I don't know where I've put that. Oh, yes, I do. Here it is. It's good. Right. Now, this is from a new set. And I'll give you the name of it. This is called Heartfelt Verses. And it's some new words from Lavinia. And there's 4 in a set. And it's with love, birthday wishes just for you, and with love and sympathy. Jolly useful. So with love, very gentle, because this is quite delicate font. So I don't want to squash this down. So hopefully it will be straight, and then down, just down, press and up. If you push down too heavily on some of these really delicate stamps, you can sort of squidge out the polymer, and that will smudge your stamp. So with this, it's down, press, up, done. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you the splashing now. So I'm bringing this up. and you'll see that I've got a lot of colour here. My interpretation of leaves. And so how did I achieve that? Well, I was whacking with Perfect Layers and a whole selection of Posca paint pens. Right. So starting off, but before I do, I want to mask off the tree and certain areas. So taking some copy paper, I'm just tearing some bits. I want to mask off here, mask there, all right. Put some more here so that I've just got the utmost branches of the tree going down a little into the main body of the tree. And then the final thing as well, I'm using some Sweet Poppy stencil tape because I want to, one, hold the mask down, but also mask off the frame. I don't want the Posca paint getting outside of this area here. Okay. Right. So taking my Uni Posca paint pens, and these are pin type 0.7 millimeters, and I'm using mainly that size because this will give me the smaller splatters that I'm looking for. The bigger the tip on your Posca paint pen, then the bigger the splats that you're going to get if you use this whacking technique. So I'm using the very small ones, and then I've got a larger one in bullet shaped in white, which I'll be using at the end, and also a bullet shaped in the black. But again, these are still 0.7 millimeters, so same type of these, but these are bullet tipped and this are pin type. So there's all different sorts that you can get in these paint pens. So let's have a go. Good shake. Starting with yellow and then my Perfect Layers. Quite directional. Don't go mad either. You can always add more colour, but as it's paint, you'll have a job taking it away. So be gentle. And goes blue, pink, all colours. That's a pretty pink too. Now this is a green. This is metallic though, because I haven't got a normal green. Well, I have, but it's too big. The pen size is very large. And red. Red's good. And a purple. Yeah. Oh, it's coming along. Right, that's all the colours that I've got at the moment. I thought I had an orange, but I haven't, so I'm just using those then. But then a bit of black. Don't go mad on the black. That will do. And then white. And then the white I'm taking up a bit as well to bring in any stray areas that you have going outside of the branches I'm splashing with white so it looks as if I meant to do it, which actually I did. So it sort of all knits it in together, or ties it in together, that's the word. So quite a bit of white. There's nothing like a good bit of whacking on a Saturday morning. Right, off with the masked equipment. There we go, like so. Now, without disturbing that paint, I'm going to bring it up so you can see it better. No, that's not bad, is it? It's a good effect, I think. You'll be seeing this again a lot because I'm going to use this technique more. So the final thing that I'm going to do to this is to finish the frame. So I'm using a very thin nib, fine nib, Uniball pen. It's black pigment ink. And then I want to protect the card from my fingers. I'm just coming down. Not being too careful, as you can see. Keep away from the paint, though, it won't be dry. Like so. And then coming out deliberately in some areas. I'm not even going to bother rubbing out any of the pencil lines that I have. I won't bother, just leave it. And then another one here. And all achieved while that Posca paint is still wet. Oh, I'm pleased with that. Now, if you saw the Lavinia Stamps show on her Chanda TV, the craft show, beg pardon, if you saw that, you will know that this was one of my samples that appeared on the show. So I thought that I'd share that with you. 2 reasons. 1, I like it a lot. 2, I love those forest hares. A few reasons. And it was easy. So I'll be back tomorrow. Something a little bit different tomorrow. And I'm using oxides. Going to be using oxides and do some colourful backgrounds. Right. See you in the morning then. Have a nice weekend. Thank you so much for looking and for all your lovely comments. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.